Welcome, everyone. Great to be on a call today with Brian and Mudassir. We're here to talk about Mudassir's brand new course release, which is highly anticipated, I believe, because we all know of Mudassir's talents around Power BI visualization and just Power BI, overall Power BI development. So we're here today to really dig into Mudassir and we'll learn a lot more about Mudassir, his experience and the way that he attacks Power BI and his high quality Power BI development, and then a little bit more about the course that he's developed for the Enterprise DNA platform. So welcome, everyone. And Mudassir, why don't I just throw to you and you can just do a little bit more of an intro for those who don't know you so well. Obviously, those who are in the Enterprise DNA community know you well as one of the experts and providing a huge amount of value through the community on the forum and with the challenges, etc. But maybe you can give a bit more of a background and then we can just have a chat about what you've been up to.
Yeah, thank you, Sam, and thank you, Enterprise DNA, for giving us the platform to unleash their creativity. And basically, I am a management accountant in Canada, in Ontario. And I came across Enterprise DNA platform last year in the month of, I think, April. But I was just browsing through some Enterprise DNA videos because I wanted to create some dashboards. So I was really fascinated at what Power BI can do. And when Enterprise DNA started rolling out the challenges, so I was like, I literally cannot create these types of reports at all. When I saw some of the mind-blowing reports, I was like, no, I cannot do it. But in August, I gave a try to one of the challenge and I won it. So basically, Brian and other expert members really motivated me to take part in other challenges also. And then I started digging into more visualizations and how can I make my report more appealing and more aesthetic looking, because if the management is looking at the report on a daily basis, so for me, I think it should look good first, right? And analysis should come afterwards, because if the report is not good, right? So I think management won't be interested in looking at it on a daily basis. So that's when I started diving into advanced visualizations, and I started looking at R and Python visuals. So I was like, because I don't have any background in R and Python, so I was like, if there is any way I can create these types of visualizations in Power BI, it would be good. Then I came across Charticulator, and then I just took it from there.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I think one of the best things out of the challenges is being able to identify amazing talent like yourself in terms of just Power BI design and Power BI report development. I mean, some of the creations and some of the ways that you're using Power BI is world leading, like without a doubt, in terms of just the applications that you've been able to build and be able to showcase that through the challenges and through Enterprise DNA's platform has been a real treat for us, I think. And I feel like this is a natural evolution where you're now able to, we've always with these new content creators like yourself, we wanted to be able to dive into your mind and try and extract some of the amazing value that you've got going around in your brain and from what you've been able to get into Power BI reports. And so being able to put this now into a course and put it into our platform is huge. It's huge for us, and hopefully you get the recognition, more recognition of your abilities going forward. Brian, do you want to jump in and give your take on Mudassir's work and the value that will be created through on the platform via the introduction of this course?
Yeah, I'm as big a fan of Mudassir's work as there is out there. That his stuff is just knockout every month. That I've got one of them, the recent Challenge 12 behind me, and just the creativity in the visualization and the navigation is remarkable. And it's interesting to me, coming from an accounting background, you would think your focus would be really analytics driven, and your analytics are great. But I think the thing you're really known for is the creativity of the visualization and the design. And I'm wondering if you can talk about two things, kind of where you get your inspiration for the designs and how much of this do you think can be learned? So when people look, people look at the remarkable creativity in the entries you develop. How much of that do you think is innate artistic and how much of that you think can be developed over time? And how would you go about doing that? If you can kind of speak to that in the context of the course.
Yeah, I think everybody can learn it and develop this skill over time because nowadays internet has everything. So if you are browsing through any website, you can find many navigation ideas, many bookmarks, right? And there are many, many templates available on the website. So what I do whenever I find a good template or a good, either it is a Power BI dashboard or report or a Tableau report, what I do, I take a snapshot of that report and save it in my folder. So I have like 200 to 300 images of good report templates, right? So whenever we get the challenge or whenever I'm trying to create a report, so I try to go through all the images and I try to work things around in my mind, how to present this particular data set in a particular template, right? So most of the times I don't usually put my analysis or my development in one template. I try to combine 3 to 4 templates into one. Mm-hmm. So it basically goes with the data set. First, I look at the data set and I don't even work on it at all. So for a week or more than a week, I just try to think about it. How can I present it in a particular template, or how can I combine multiple templates and present a story to the audience? And honestly speaking, if you browse the internet, you will find millions of ideas.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, Enterprise DNA does try to help with that as well. We've got in the knowledge base, we've got a whole catalog of designs that I myself and some of the team here have collected over time. So if you want to get a kickstart to do exactly what Mudassir just described, we do that. And then also the Analyst Hub, we have a whole range of Power BI reports that we're putting up there on a almost daily basis to get inspiration. So I love that idea. I love that technique, and it's something that I personally have used as well. And yeah, that's if you've got sort of creativity block, with your visualizations, there's always lots of ideas out there that you can leverage off, and they don't even have to be from Power BI. I presume that you use ideas from anywhere.
Oh yeah, exactly. And with my visualization, what I try to do, I try to limit the use of the slicers in my report. Because when you try to limit the use of slicers, you get to be creative with your visualizations. Because what I've seen, most of the people use a lot of slicers in the report. So that takes out the creativity from the report, because when you can use the slicers, you don't have to put many visuals in the report.
Right. So you tend to use your visuals as your slicers? Exactly.
Most of the reports I have created, I use my visualizations as slicers.
Interesting.
Because
you want to, sorry to interrupt. Do you want to just maybe actually just give a brief overview of how you've set up the course? I think that would be good to go over now, and then we can sort of maybe dive into some particular areas that might be of real interest to those who have the opportunity to view it as part of the community.
Well, the main context of the course is like, first, I have tried to dive into native Power BI visuals. And I have tried to show the users how they can use native visuals, how they can creatively use native visuals. And I have also tried to tell them the limitations of native visuals in Power BI. Then I have tried to dive into custom visuals that are already available in the marketplace or in the app source. And some of the limitations can be covered by the custom visuals already available, but they also have some limitations in them, right? And after that, I have tried to overcome those limitations with Charticulator visuals. So this is the main theme of the course. But in this course, I have also tried to show the audience how they can find multiple report layouts or report templates from the website, how they can be creative with bookmarks and navigation ideas, and how they can actually go through some websites and they can create templates on that particular website and download it and use it in Power BI.
Wow.
Mudassir, I wanted to ask you about custom visuals and kind of what I know when we do the challenges, it's kind of anything goes and it's kind of a lab for experimentation. But I'm wondering, in your real world reports, what's your thought on use of custom visuals and as well as Charticulator? How far do you go in the customization?
Frankly speaking, most of the people think that if you are designing visuals in Charticulator, it would be some sort of a funky visual, right? But it's not the case, because if you are designing in Charticulator, you can save a lot of space in the report, which you cannot if you are using a native visual from Power BI. I can show you with an example what I mean by that, because, for example, you can save a lot of space, for example, with a bar chart. If you are creating a bar chart with Charticulator, you can save a lot of space in your report.
Wow, fascinating. I think that Charticulator piece is going to be hugely valuable, because there's not that much information out there on the potential. And I would dare say that 95% of people using Power BI don't even know it exists, honestly.
Yeah.
So the fact that you can do so much with it, and the variety of output is so enormous. I mean, that's just going to be huge if those who are viewing the course can get that into their tool set, and expand their creative thinking around what's possible. That's going to really improve the visualization aspect of reports by a large amount, I would suspect.
Yeah, you're right.
Mudassir, there's a big big conversation going around Charticulator now with the new custom visual coming out as opposed to the website. And I'm wondering if you can speak a little bit to how you see the difference between them, and whether that represents a big shift or not.
Yeah, it does. Frankly speaking, if you are designing visuals using the website, it takes a lot of time, because, for example, whenever you have to make the changes, when I am designing a particular visual, I go back and forth like 10 to 15 times on that particular website to get my visual done. So what you have to do, you have, for example, first time you design your visual, you export that template in a custom visual, and then you go back in Power BI, import that visual back into the Power BI, and then use it. And only then you get to know that you have some problems in your visual. Then you go back again in the website and make your changes. But with the custom visual, Charticulator custom visual inside the Power BI desktop, that takes care of this problem big time. You can save a lot of time when you are designing visuals, really.
Wow, that's great.
But
and it's the same. It's 100% same. Designing visual with the custom visual inside the Power BI desktop and on the website, 100% same. No change at all.
That's great. So the course will walk you through both ways, but the custom visual definitely, from an efficiency standpoint, is the way to go.
Exactly. So basically the course was created by using the web, right? So, but there is no difference at all. You just have to know how you can access the Charticulator inside the Power BI desktop. And then you can literally create every type of visual which you use to create, or which I have created in the web, inside the Power BI desktop with the custom visual.
So one other question is, what level of expertise do you think people need to get the most out of this course? Like how much prerequisite do they have to have?
I think no level of expertise needed. Beginner level is required for this type of course. The thing is, it's about your creativity when you have learned the course, right? And when you know how you can design your own visuals. So it's about your creativity. And the motto of this course is, so when I start my first video, I started like, you don't need to have good knowledge index to create like insane visualizations in Power BI. Because from the first challenge I have taken part till the last one, I haven't even used like complex DEX knowledge in my Power BI reports. Yet I was able to create good reports in the challenges.
Mm.
Yeah, amazing reports.
Yeah.
Even the COVID dashboard and the last one we worked on, Brian would agree with that we didn't use any advanced DEX in that report. Yeah.
No, it's actually surprising. I mean, when you put in the time on the data modeling and the data prep, the DAX becomes very, very simple. I think folks would be almost disappointed if they saw how simple it was.
Yes, Power Query and data modeling is a must to have.
Yeah,
that's one huge thing that is becoming more and more clear to me, is that DAX is incredibly powerful, but the reality is, in most cases, if you set up your data and your model correctly, it can be so simple. And I would say in 80 to almost 90% of cases, this is the truth. This is the reality.
Exactly. Basically, if you watch the enterprise DNA videos, how you walk through like branching the measures, right? So it becomes really easy because you take every measure step by step, and you can create literally advanced reports with just, you can say, intermediary DAX knowledge.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mudassir, do you want to jump in on screen share and show us a couple of examples of what you were talking about?
Yes, I will.
And while you're doing that, Mudassir, one of my sort of like final big questions is here, and this was the whole premise between to making sure that you were able to create a course for us and be one of our first releases, is, do you think that by just viewing your course that those in our who have access to our platform are going to be able to create reports as good as you?
Yes, they really can. The trick is you have to go all out with your creativity when you're creating reports, especially for the challenges. So what I try to do, I really try to challenge myself to the extreme. So whenever I find some very difficult visualization on web, I try to create it no matter what. And I try to create report when I'm taking part in the challenges in a different way. So first step is you analyze the data, you create data modeling, you do some analysis inside Power BI desktop, and you create your measures, and then you go for your designs and report layouts, right? But I do it in reverse order. I first design my report layouts and templates, and I already have some image in my mind how will I create my visualizations, and then I try to create the visualizations, because this is how I challenge myself to the extreme.
There we go.
Yeah. I love this report. Really love
me too.
So basically, this background I found it from the internet. So it had some text written on it, so you can go to online tools, right? Or if you have like paid Adobe Photoshop, that would be very easy. You can do it in one shot. You can erase anything in one shot. But even if you do not have like paid Adobe Photoshop, you can go to online editing tools and you can delete whatever you don't want on the backgrounds. And I would basically advise people to go on YouTube and learn some basic PowerPoint skills. You can learn how to create some basic report templates in the Power BI, in PowerPoint. That would come really handy when you are trying to create reports. So this looks like some fancy visualization, but literally it was just created with the native scatter charts in Power BI. And you can see this icon, this Windows icon. So I took the snipping tool and cut the image from my desktop and put it over here. It was so simple. And if I click on this one, this background was also created from my computer. So even if you are using your Windows 10 computer, you get to know many bookmarks and navigation from it. There are many creative bookmarks and navigation if you are using your Windows. So this is what I did over here. And
so you review all of this in the course, like how to do all of these separate things, correct?
Yeah. And I was talking about some limitations of like, for example, bar charts, right? So here I saved a lot of space in my report. For example, if I had used native visual, this text or data categories would be coming over here. And also here, if I come over here, I put the data categories on top of lollipop charts. So you can literally put this text anywhere you want with the help of chartigulators.
Wow, it just opens up just a whole new world of opportunity, doesn't it?
Yes. And secondly, for example, especially with bar charts, with native visuals, even with custom visuals. So whenever we filter the report, what happens is the data axis changes their position, right? For example, if this data axis do not have any data, it won't be shown in the report, and it will change its position. But with Charticulator, I can lock the data auto axis alignment, and it won't change. Why? Because you can see a different color on these two individuals, right? So I put these colors because they are the project leaders. And no matter whatever I do in the report, the position won't change.
Right.
So yeah, this is what you can also do, because I found it really, really frustrating when I was trying to do something creative with native visuals. And I was like, only if there was a way to just lock this axis, because I didn't want the axis to move at all. And this functionality is available in other BI tools, but not in Power BI, sadly. So, but with the Charticulator, we can overcome this type of problem.
So that is interesting because, go ahead, Sam.
A huge part of the course, I think, is about expanding creativity, isn't it? So it's titled Advanced Visualization, but yes, you go over some advanced ways that you can visualize things, but really it's an inspiration type course. Like, this is how you can get inspired around what you can achieve in Power BI. This is how you can build full-blown applications inside of Power BI, like web-based applications. And I think that's what you've been able to showcase incredibly well throughout many recent challenges. And I really get the feeling that is what is going to be the best part of viewing your content and your course, is just the huge inspiration that you're going to be able to get around what you can achieve from a visualization point of view in Power BI.
Yes, Sam, you are right. And what I have tried to do, I have tried to limit the visuals, what we can use inside our workplace also. I haven't tried to create like infographics style visualizations, because I have tried to show that even with the Charticulator and with some creativity, you can use these types of visualizations inside your organization.
Mudassir, how would you say it best for people to make use of the course? Because I know you've got some general information up front about creativity and inspiration and philosophy, but then you kind of dive specifically into particular visualizations. Do you recommend people go through in order, or is it okay to jump around kind of if you've got a particular interest in a given type or types of visuals, or you have a few that you use that you want to get better at and then you want to jump into Charticulator? Is it okay in this one to move around out of order?
If you are already good at visualization, for example, if I talk about Alex, right? So he can literally jump into Charticulator. He doesn't need to go through all the previous stuff. But if you think that you are lacking in this area, so it is advisable to go from native visual to custom and then to Charticulator in the same order, because they will get to know what they can do with native visuals, what are the limitations, and then move on to custom visuals and then to Charticulator. And basically, it will expand your creativity, because now when I'm trying to create a report and I want to create a bar chart, I have like 6 to 7 types of bar charts in my mind I can create. 1 to 2 with native visuals, 2 to 3 with custom visuals, and many with Charticulators.
And it is interesting. I've seen you do this before, where even with the native visuals, with some creativity and some technique, you can get native visuals to do more than you think.
Oh, for sure. And native visuals are really easy to work with, but there are some limitations when you are trying to achieve a particular thing. You cannot achieve it with the native visual. The things I have just mentioned, right?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I don't have too much else. What about you, Brian? Any or Mudassir? Any final thoughts? Other than just
I just wanted to
of this release.
Just maybe I can. Yeah.
No, maybe go ahead, please.
Yeah, sorry. Maybe I can walk you through how we can create a simple bar chart in the Charticulator web and then inside Power BI desktop, so people would know that literally there is no difference in creating these visuals, either in website or in the custom visual.
Sure. Do you think you can do it quickly, Mudassir? Because usually these videos we want to keep sort of a shorter format.
It will just take 5 minutes to create in the.
Okay.
In
yeah.
the,
Let's do it. So we're opening up the world of Charticulator to all of our viewers, which I think is I think it's half the battle. Honestly, it is half the battle.
So here you want to get your source file, and the source file should be in the CSV file. Done. I always delete this title because you can put it inside Power BI desktop. So to create a bar chart, literally you just drag and drop category on y-axis. And for the bar chart, we need like this rectangle shape. I can draw it. And then I can click over here. I want to change the stacking, stack Y. And then I just align it to the page. And now to show the values, I just drag and drop the values in the width. Here we have the bar chart, right? And the good thing with this is if I can also change the position of this axis. For example, if I want it on the opposite side, or if I want these bars on the opposite side, for example, from left to right. So it's so easy to play around with these visuals. And if I want to color these bars based on the values, so I will click on the shape. So the highest number has the darker color and the lowest has the light. And the crazy thing about this is, for example, if I put in the values over here, example, bring into left. For example, if I just try to bring in the values, this is the text. Here we have the text, for example. And I can bring in the text at the end. And for the text, you can put anything like these categories or even the data labels. So if I click on text, values, so here we can see the values, right? We can also color the values like we did with the bars. See the gradient color. So this is just really, really crazy stuff you can do with Charticulator.
Yeah, man. This is amazing. This is incredible.
Yeah. And
really just unlimited.
Yeah. And the problem with this web version is you have to export it, Power BI custom visual, and then you have to click on the Power BI custom visual, and then you have to go back to the Power BI desktop. Where it is. Then, for example, you have to go to Power BI desktop, and wherever you have saved your visual, you have to import it from there. And
right.
For example, if I have made some mistake, then I would have to go back again and then do my changes and then export it and import it again. But inside the Power BI desktop, I can just go in here, get more visuals. Sorry, it's taking some time.
It seems like quite a heavy application. As have playing around with the custom visual in Power BI. Is it relatively stable?
Oh yeah, it's better than R and Python visuals.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it loads really faster. It's just like native visual, so I haven't found any issues with it so far. So here I can bring in the Charticulator custom visual in here.
Mm-hmm.
And I can click on it. And to be able to go to edit mode, you have to click on this ellipsis, edit. And you have to click on the create chart. But before clicking on this one, you have to bring in some measure or categories in data. Total defects. And now I can click on it, create chart. Now we have the same type of interface which we had on the web. It's just a flip-flop version of the web. And I can create anything I want in here. And when I have created anything in here, I would just go save back to my report, and I would have the visual. That's it.
Wow, that's
for example, if I want to make changes again, I can click on the ellipsis again, edit, make my changes, and that's it.
And Mudassir, is there a way, like if you've created a really detailed visual in Charticulator and you've used it for a challenge, is there a way to extract it and use it in a different file?
Oh yes, you can click here, export template, and you can save this template anywhere you want. And for example, if you are working on a different report, then you can import that template from here.
Beautiful.
So you can reuse that template over and over again.
This would be huge if we could get some of these into the Analyst Hub and create another app in the Analyst Hub where you can showcase your Charticulator visualizations. Maybe that's something we'll add to the list.
Yeah, sure. It would be great. For example, having reusable custom visuals.
Yeah.
Different types of bar charts, scatter charts, that would be great.
Yeah.
People won't have to even create it by themselves.
Well, I have to say that I'm pretty damn excited myself. Just being able to see what's possible here, and then the fact that we've got, I think, over 10 hours of content that you've created on all of these sort of things is going to be amazing, absolutely amazing, and huge amount of value for all our community to view once we put the courses on full release.
Yeah, I hope so. People would like it. I think so.
Thank you, Mudassir. This is great contribution, and I'm looking forward to diving into Charticulator and bringing some of the principles you've talked about into my own reports. So hope folks really enjoy this one, and we'll look forward to seeing some of the new techniques show up in the challenges, hopefully.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Hopefully this leads to a lot of inspiration for future challenges and continues to push the challenges forward. I think that we've been sort of leading the world in some of the applications you can build inside of Power BI, and Mudassir, you've been top of the list, really. So amazing that we can now dive into your mind and learn a lot more about how you get it done, and create a lot more people like you. That's get a lot more people up to your level, which is what we've always tried to do with Enterprise DNA. So really appreciate your time, and thanks, Brian, for joining in and for your questions. Really great wrap up.
Thanks, Sam.
Okay, thanks all. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, guys.